Howdy, we now move on to part 4 of chapter 8. In this part, we are looking at how companies can enter different countries with different entry modes. So firms can use one or more of 5 entry modes to enter international markets, and these are exporting, licensing, strategic alliances, acquisitions, and new wholly owned subsidiaries. Each means of market entry has its advantages and disadvantages, suggesting that the choice of entry mode can affect the degree of success the firm achieves by implementing an international strategy. So you'll see here these 5 different types of entry and the different characteristics. So exporting comes with high cost and low control. Licensing is low cost and fairly low risk, but little control and fairly low returns. Strategic alliances allow for shared costs of resources, shared risk, but there are problems of integration. And you, in addition to having different country cultures, you also have different corporate cultures to have to overcome differences, even liability of foreignness, perhaps. With acquisitions, you have quick access to new markets, but this comes along with high cost, complex negotiations, and problems of merging with domestic operations. And finally, with a new wholly owned subsidiary, there are complex, often costly, time-consuming, high-risk, maximum control, but potentially above average returns. So when we look at these, I want to go through a few examples that we might consider. So what is the best solution when a firm has no foreign manufacturing expertise and requires investment only in distribution? The answer here would be exporting. What about if we have a situation where the firm needs rapid cross-border access to new international markets? Here, we would be looking at a good option being acquisitions, because you can enter the ground you can hit the ground running. Once you have purchased or acquired that company, you're ready to go with fully functioning operations. What if the firm needs to facilitate the product improvements necessary to enter foreign markets, and really all they need is intellectual property to facilitate these improvements? Well, in this situation, we might be looking at licensing. What if the firm needs to connect with an experienced partner already in the targeted market and to reduce its risk through sharing of costs? Here we might be looking at a strategic alliance. Or if the firm is facing uncertain situations, such as an emerging economy in its targeted market, this may actually lead to very high liability of foreignness, an optimal solution might be a strategic alliance where you have a partner that can help you to bridge those gaps and to overcome some of that uncertainty. Now, if a firm has intellectual property rights in an emerging economy that are not well protected, the number of firms in the industry is growing fast, so there's a strong opportunity to be successful, and the need for global integration is high. In this situation, we might look for a wholly owned subsidiary. So to enter a global market, a firm selects the entry mode that is best suited to its situation. In some instances, the various options will be followed sequentially, beginning with exporting and eventually leading to greenfield or wholly owned ventures. In other cases, the firm may use several, but not all of the different entry modes, and perhaps each in different markets. The decision regarding which entry mode to use is primarily a result of the industry's competitive conditions, the country's situation and government policies, and the firm's unique set of resources, capabilities, and core competencies. Question number 4, what mode or modes of entry have the companies that you identified earlier today used to enter international markets?